Go.
Okay. Thank you. Good to have you guys.
Good to have you.
Another discussion in 2019, you know, building on the trends that the Citizens platform has envisaged for this year. And today, we will be talking about something very interesting. A topic that focuses on how things work in Africa and if those things are actually changing Africa to the Africa we want. And we are talking here today about democracy and economic transformation. Is democracy contributing to, can democracy contribute to economic transformation? What do we think about, you know, Africa as a whole, from north to south, east to west, the democratic phases or the democratic institutions or countries that we have? Are they, you know, the development that they are experiencing or benefiting from, is it a true reflection of democracy that they are enjoying?
Interesting facts. You see, I would say, I mean, right from the beginning here, that yes, democracy contributes to economic transformation and contributes to development at large. Democracy, what is the essence of democracy? Democracy is representing the interest of the population, not the elite. So the general populations. Democracy is driving the interest of the people. So when you look at also the other, I mean, the tenets or the pillars of democracy, we talked about accountability, institutions, strong institution, accountability in terms of institution. Why do we want this thing? Institution that are in terms of or institution that represent accountability is to have like good economic governance. We talked about economic transformation, to have political participation, to make sure that when people are poor, people are siphoning the money, when people are diverting the money, citizens will wake up and say, no, it's here. When people are doing that, they are sanctioned, they are jailed, they are put in prisons, so that we go to the right direction. So for, as far as I'm concerned, democracy is the best approach to economic transformation and development at large.
But okay, yes.
Okay, great. You know, this topic is very interesting. And I just want to take it from where the answers landed. But there is something that we need to understand, is the definition that we give to democracy and the way we adopt democracy in Africa. Because we have the definition of democracy and we have the democracy practice or practicing democracy, the way we practice democracy in Africa. That's so far different from the definition. The definition he's saying is true. What is democracy? It's the power of the people, by the people, for the people, meaning the people power. The people decide where to go. And based on their decision, they have their orientation and they go. That's exactly how. And when we talk about people deciding their own destiny, we're talking about like what we're saying, accountability. If we accept together, we elect this person to lead us, he should be accountable to us. If he's not accountable, we should be bold enough to say no, like I was saying, this is enough, move away. That's real democracy. But which kind of democracy do we practice in Africa? And looking at the democracy that we practice in Africa, it doesn't have nothing to do with the definition of the democracy.
But those are
and that cannot contribute to our economic empowerment or our economic growth.
Tell us, what are your thoughts about what kind of democracy are we practicing?
We are not even practicing democracy.
So what are we practicing?
No,
I don't know.
We may say that we are not at the same level. I mean, if you compare countries, but some are moving forward. For example, before this, in the fall of Berlin Wall, in Africa, we're having two prominent countries that we are calling democratic countries, which was Botswana and Mauritius. Today now, you look at the number of poor, I mean the percentage of poverty in that country. Botswana, people are talking about 60%. In Mauritius, people are talking about 10%. So you see, that means that it's democracy that has helped them. Because, yes, to transform, to lead to development, democracy is also about devolving power.
Good.
Giving power, decentralization as the way we call it.
Permit me to build on that. Yeah, you've shared very interesting thoughts here. And the interesting thought again is, coming from the conceptualization of democracy, that you're not serving the interests of the elites, power by the people and so on. If you take Nigeria, I just want to take Nigeria, if you take democracy, elections as a benchmark for democracy, whereby people decide, elect who will serve them, and that person should serve their interest. What happened? Musa Yar'Adua came into power. Unfortunately, he didn't stay to the end of his term. Then we got Goodluck Jonathan. Nigerians were not happy with Goodluck Jonathan and they voted him out. Now, they brought in someone they thought will change their lives, and that change of life is what I would use to characterize economic transformation. And today, some, if not the majority of Nigerians, are disgruntled with Buhari's government because they are not enjoying the fallout of democracy, of their participation in the democratic process. And now what I'm trying to say, and we know that Nigeria is among the 3 poorest countries in the world. So if you take Nigeria as an example, would you say democracy leads to economic transformation?
No, Jim, look. I'm very happy for you bringing up this example. But there's one thing we need to understand. When we say the people actually electing somebody to drive them, okay? When we are not talking about democracy or economic empowerment in such kind of situation, is what kind of principle is the power putting in place to enable economic empowerment? Okay, do we have enabling environment? When enabling environment is there and people, the citizens are able to participate to the economic of the country, it's also help them, it's empower them. When we talk about economic empowerment, it's not magic. It's not magic. A government cannot come today and change everything and you start feeling good. No. It's a process. And this process is the participation of everybody. You need to participate, I need to participate, and everybody. If the government can give us an enabling environment where we can invest and continue.
So in that case, I like that, because if you say is participation, that means if we involve in an element of the democratic process, so we vote someone into power, and that leader puts in place a government that does not create the enabling environment to let us participate in his government.
No, but Jim,
democracy is not contributing.
Okay, I like the example you have just taken and put forward, display. Nigeria, very good, fantastic example. You were talking about elections. Unfortunately, that's the mistake many of us have been making. Democracy should not only be defined as elections.
Exactly.
Election is just one small component of that one. When you talk about political participation, you have election, we have before, during election, after election, and so on and so forth. Nigeria, when it comes to this embezzlement, corruption, the statistics will tell us. You see how many people, amount of money that are being embezzled, that are siphoned, that are living in
snake money.
So we have this thing. So there's the issue. That means, but the issue is that those who are doing that, they are not bring to books. So they are continuing doing it. But when there is some institution, when you do it, you know that in 10 years, 15, 20 years, when they catch you, it will hit you. It was a discard, but when you know that because you are part of those who are in power, you can do whatever you want. Even you can say, but there are many people.
I just want to take the case of Rwanda, which is at the limelight now in Africa. In terms of development, in terms of progress, in terms of economic transformation. But would we say Rwanda is a democratic country?
Rwanda, we are still at the beginning.
Of democracy?
No, in terms of democracy, they are not.
In terms of economic empowerment, democracy.
No, but I want to take the democratic element.
Yes.
What do you think? Do you think Rwanda can be described as a democratic country?
Are there people free to vote whoever they want?
So far, yes. So far, they voted Kagame into power, and they went through a referendum that voted, a change. Not was it a referendum? Changing constitution. They voted.
Jim, I thought you want to break the issue of limitation of power.
No, but I'm trying to say people participated in an open process that led to the decision that is giving them the power.
And that's democracy, when people are participating. People take the decision together. That's what we call.
But there is a school of thought that holds that Rwanda is not a democracy.
Well, yes, fine, Jim. That's where I want to come. It's fine. You know, if it's not the case, Rwanda, the statistics we are just at the beginning. Let's wait in 5-10 years and we'll appreciate. We want Africa to move forward. If it's moving, something other people can learn from it. Kofi Annan was saying something. He said that a healthy society is a society where there is this security, economic development, and the last one, rule of law and human rights. You cannot get the other two. I mean, economy. Society. You cannot get this
not a
security, economy, and without talking about human rights. People, they want to focus only on the two. You have security, you have economy. I mean, in terms of growth, and you don't care about human rights, you don't care about rule of law. But definitely, it will have this thing. Its limit, it's short term. In terms of ensure long-term process about it. For example, you were talking about Kagame. Let's assume if the guy is there, he's not preparing somebody that will take over after him. Successions. A leader without, a successful leader without succession plan is a failure. There is a saying that goes like that. So if he's not preparing somebody who will take over, and when he leaves, everything collapses. He has failed. Good. That means you fall back to him. That means he has failed. He's not building something. So it's to our institution. The focus should not be on person, but it's on institution that will drive.
Good. Yeah, so, that's why Obama said Africa does not need strong men, but it needs strong institutions. And when we have strong institutions, that can actually help us to be having a process that is continuous, not limited to individual.
And inclusive.
Inclusive. When somebody is here and he finishes his term and is gone, and the system is gone, and he goes with the system, it doesn't work that way. Kagame is doing well, fantastic. If he can leave a legacy, and that legacy can be taken up, somebody else can take over and continue the same thing, to have a constant economic growth and development, then he has done well. And I
don't know whether he's doing well as much as possible also.
We should ensure that let's not be too much demanding such a way that we don't even know what we want.
No, it's not be too much demanding, but we should make sure that people also participate in the process. People should have the right to choose who and who they want to lead us. People, like when there is political participation, people should be part of it. I don't know whether it's happening fully there or not. If it's not the case, that means there is issue. If you can have food to eat, but you are not free to speak, there is issue.
No,
there is the basic freedom of association, freedom of speech, and freedom of demonstration. If you don't have all these things, that's the fundamental freedom. If you don't have, there is issue. No matter the food that you have or the growth, if it does not allow you to speak, there is issue. And interesting, coming back again, maybe having one man, this thing, one strong man or one party. What we should know that from 1990 up to 1999 or up to 1990 in West Africa, across Africa, that we saw a new wave of democracy. Even before that, we're having one party, one man. Nothing has changed. When you compare now growth in terms of what we have achieved after from 1990 up to compared to the previous one, you see that there are many transformations, many things has happened. Why it has happened? Because now we are building institutions. We are not yet there, but we are going. That tells you that democracy is bringing change. Democracy can give you job. Democracy.
Leon, do you really believe that we are changing, we are growing?
We are.